People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Obviously, with that being said, I don't even think everything is patterned for me, people. Apologies for everything. I've been having a bit of a mare, as I always do. I'm a morning person, but I'm not a morning guy at all. Obviously, on that note, people, let's waffle in. People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Obviously, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope everyone's blessed. I hope everyone's well and safe. With it being the midway point of the week, you know, this time next week, the guy's 27. It's my birthday. Make sure you're getting them presents in quick and faster and quick. But I hope everyone's having a good week in terms of their goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, aspirations, all of those good things, people. I hope everyone's physically doing well. Continue the health and whatnot, and as usual, I appreciate you lot's support on the best of days on YouTube and Twitch, especially as you know there's a lot of content to be getting through. Today we're here till whenever we go on to YouTube as well as Twitch for 11:30, and also I've opened it up to YouTube because it's Real Madrid Chelsea. It's a big game, but you know, Twitch gang, I'm here with you all day, and it's 7:30, half an hour before kickoff. We're live for that, innit? So yeah, even if you're listening to this and taking this in on Twitch, if you can seek it in your heart, please hit the like button on YouTube. Let's fuck up the engagements. As you know, journey to 50k on YouTube, journey to 10k on Twitch. We keep working, we keep grinding, obviously, and one day 100k plus on both. DG Nation, we're growing. So yeah, we saw the Champions League yesterday. You know, Darwin Nunez, it's a chance to run some propaganda. Obviously Liverpool doing what Liverpool do and winning the game, and obviously relatively, you know, they did the job in Portugal, innit? So at Anfield, we all know what time it is when you go to Anfield. For Manchester City, we're going to specify on the game a bit more. I'd say for them, in short, the disappointment is probably, considering everything that happened, only got a goal really to go into the second leg. And obviously at Madrid's place, anything can happen, bearing in mind there is no away goals as well, so there's that cushion's irrelevant. Obviously we're going to talk about Arsenal's top four race. One love to everybody who participated in the early voting. 57% of you, when I asked, is Arsenal's top four hopes over, said no, and whatnot. And again, obviously, well, you lot couldn't see, but I reset my router. So all the comments that previously came up via StreamYard, they don't come up now. So big up my guy B, big up Rico. I can't bring them up on screen, but I can read it out. We might as well start with that, innit? We might as well start with Arsenal's top four hopes and whatnot. Let me make a timestamp. Let's say 000 top four hopes. What else is there? Top four hopes / chances, let's say. But yeah, Arsenal's. Now, for my opinion, well, let's see let me say what my guy Rico said. Top four hopes are in the hands of Arsenal, and it's up to them to step up to the plate. We need to gather ourselves together and define that motivation to press on through the games to come, because every game is a final. As cliche as it is, every game's a final for West Ham United, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, and obviously Arsenal. Facts. B has said, whether you make top four or not, was it wise to streamline the squad the way you have? Yes and no. In the grand scheme of things, I would describe it as why I would say yes. It's short-term pain for long-term gain. We got rid of players that didn't want to be here at face value. For whatever reason, Ainsley didn't want to be here. For whatever reason, it's not that Aubameyang didn't want to be here. He wanted to go to Barca and things weren't happening. And obviously, in the grand scheme of things, we've saved some wages and all of that. But on the flip side, I don't think it was wise, because, as you know, we're gambling essentially. We're gambling, and for a long time, it's paid off. As I always say, you know, whether you think the players or the squad are good enough or any of that stuff, one thing I'll give the players is, you know, fair enough, you held your L at the start of the season, you clawed back your season. this is the same bunch of players that got themselves in a position for top 4 to even be a talking point for Arsenal. So I'll give them that luck. They deserve the right to try and see it through to the end. As you know, we're playing a dangerous game in that was relying on everyone to stay fit, no one to get suspended, everybody's form to maintain. Every variable just kind of had to work. And as you know, in football, as we've seen this season with different players at Arsenal and elsewhere, form going up and down. Other people are the heroes and the villains. You know, Partey's now a hero. A couple months ago, what was said, Odegaard the same. People probably onto Odegaard. We knew that's not how the cookie crumbled. And as much as it's you know, Arteta, you know, the fight, the determination, the building blocks, I think we're putting a lot of good foundations into the team now. As much as that's good and whatnot, football isn't Disney Channel. It's not a movie. There's, as lovely as that is, there's beautiful moments in life, but it's also harsh. We've played stupid games and won stupid prizes. You know, it's like everybody, some people might, you know, be reckless spenders and that, and then when they got no money in their bank account, then they want to act like the world's done them dirty, which it might have, but at the same time, we've been doing silly things. You know, I look at our squad, as you know, we're down to our bare bones. I feel sorry for certain young players because you're probably gonna have to throw them in at the deep end now. We all know in terms of a talisman and things like that, we haven't really got that. It's mainly the young players, and as you know, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli can't do it all the time. And as you've seen, testament to them, but damning on the club. If they don't really do the business or it's not happening, then we're not getting 3 points. Typically, they're correlated between the two, as you guys are seeing. So that's the problem. We haven't got no talisman. Like I look at Spurs, again, I don't want to praise them, but Kane's finding his form. You've got Son. You see, again, we didn't bring no people in January. We've made the squad weaker. You see what the additions of Romero in the summer, you know, what that's given him, and him actually staying fit is like a new signing. You know, no coincidence they defend a bit better. Kulusevski, Bentancur especially, because if Bentancur's not there, I don't think Spurs are in the top 4 debate, because they did that just by him doing the basic competencies in their midfield. He's improved them. Kulusevski's obviously getting goals and assists and sharing the workload with Son and Kane. They've obviously got Conte. I can't rule out United because they've got Ronaldo, regardless of where they are. West Ham, David Moyes, they go marching on. So we haven't really got that. When you look at the principles, yeah, we're probably, I wouldn't say overachieving, but in comparison to what we were last season and what we probably tried to achieve, we're overperforming if we fall in the top 6. But at the same time, if we miss out on 4th, it's an L. We haven't got no talisman. We ain't really got any goal scorers like that. Again, depth is a problem. And for us, because of, we had to reset the squad. We've got a first choice 11, but we've got a first choice 9. The midfield and strikers, the one gaps. We then know that the first step is to get a certified 11. Then we need to think about depth, you know. But there's no way of doubting it. Depth, we've made ourselves weaker. Okay, cool. You didn't want to bring in the striker, but fundamentally, we went into the window in January with 4 strikers. We left with 2. Aubameyang and Balogun left. We didn't bring no one in. Yeah, we tried to bring one in, and I actually respect not bringing in people for the sake of it, but we didn't bring one in. Whether that's poor planning, whether Eddie was able to do things, whether we got hoodwinked, whatever, we haven't got that. And goals change games, you know. Again, the half chances, as much as I think Smith Rowe in the last 3 games he's played has had chances to score, he's trying to develop that asset. You know, you look at the half chances in the game against Crystal Palace and potentially Liverpool. Look at Liverpool with Jota. If you have someone who's a goal scorer or a striker or whatever, these things can buy you time. Obviously, the way Arsenal play, we haven't got that number 8. So then when you start seeing fullbacks not allowed to play, obviously Tierney's had to be more withdrawn because Tomiyasu ain't been there. And obviously Cedric and Tavares is Kalam. That kind of harms our build-up play to go with no number 8. Then obviously you're seeing Lacazette drop deep. It doesn't always work. So again, the injuries have a knock-on effect on our build-up play, especially if you have to move Xhaka around or whatever, or Partey's injured. So we're betting on a lot. So that might kill the fluidity before you talk about the run of games. So I do think there's plenty of reasons for Arsenal to be positive about top 4, but there's also reasons to be fearful. I think it's a mixed bag. We're in a fight. Like I said, us, Spurs, United, West Ham United. It's like all of us have linked up. We've gone to the park. You know, we're all throwing up our fists and may the best man win in it. You know, there's a prize on the line. It's like Royal Rumble. Everyone beat up each other. The winner, last man standing thing. We're in a fair fight. We're throwing up our dukes. We've taken a knockout bang right now. We was winning the fight. We was getting cocky. Someone blindsided us, gave us a snake bang like Crystal Palace did. It's made us a bit groggy and you know, we need to find our bearings. You know, this is where we need to react now. We need to get back with it. We're seeing that white mist at this moment. That's what it was. It was a punch in the face, Crystal Palace. We need to go again in it, and we need to hit back ferociously against Brighton. I do. Reasons for confidence is that I don't like. I've been very pessimistic on Arsenal's top four hopes, anyways, in the sense of I think we're betting on a lot for the reasons I've said. And as much as I admire the young players, and I feel actually the young players not kind of being in this situation has given them more strength, it does harm us because they've never been there before. And you are kind of expecting Arsenal to crumble. But because of what we're doing and what I'm seeing, I'm buying into it a bit more. But as I said, I'm very more pessimistic. One thing I don't like, though, is that Arsenal fans lack a lot of consistency, or small sections, the hot take kids, as I call them. You know, I look at someone like Tavares. I might not think Tavares is the answer and all of these sort of things, but certain fans were saying, yo, he's better than Tierney. He needs to start week in, week out. He's the guy. So why are you shook now that he has to start? I don't understand it, sort of thing. You know, Arsenal were a shoo-in to get fourth, according to some. You know, you've seen Spurs before we played Palace. Spurs move up. People got jittery. Yes, we got smacked up, manhandled by Palace, and we deserve all the critics. But it's almost like it's all irrelevant. As you know, as an Arsenal fan, our club is never more than one game away from a crisis. I do think when we've gone on the winning run, when we've been winning games, a lot of what you saw against Palace, it's been there. It's been evident in our game. Lack of game management, smelling danger. When the time's on, you know, managing yourself. We've reacted 9 times out of 10. We did it on Monday. And I think, well, you know, you look at our 3 recent losses, you know, the Palace, losing's losing. I'm not happy to lose to City or Liverpool, because against Liverpool, I think it was better, but we didn't take our half chances. As you know, them things there change games. Against City, as much as it was, you know, it was a good performance and stuff, you didn't win. You know, you didn't win. There's no romance around that. We did not win. And at the same time, we can talk about the ref doing us dirty, but it was an unneeded penalty to make. And we've been over it. You can go and look at my tactical reviews on the game on YouTube. That was a silly foul to make. And 10 men or not, last minute of the game, we've allowed Kevin De Bruyne to get his head up and pick out a pass, and we're nowhere near it. They wanted to score more than we wanted to defend. That's cool. All right. So there's things we can learn. But losing to City and Liverpool, all right, calm. Palace is the only one I'm sitting there and I'm looking at and saying, yo, boy, what's going on? Because obviously, pardon me, to improve next season, we need to look at every game we've dropped points from. But for me personally, the most disappointing games this season, whether we get top 4 or not, the games that I really want my boys to learn from, the game that's just gone against Crystal Palace for obvious reasons. And I think there were similarities in that game with actually how we played against Brighton away from home, because we didn't turn up in either game. We was lucky to get a point at Brighton. So I would, as I said, Brighton away, Crystal Palace away, Everton and Manchester United away from home. So that's 4 away games already, even though our away form's improved. I say Everton and United. Everton was shit at the time. But they are now. Forgive me for the language, but they were shit. We should have taken 3 points. Crystal Palace, respectfully, you know, we're helping out Vieira, but we had to be the team in 5 games to allow them to win at home. These are the things we've got to go over. Everton and United are for me because you need to be able to go to Goodison, Selhurst Park, Old Trafford and get points if you want to do serious things. But specifically on Wayne Rooney's 2 former clubs in Everton and Man United, we were winning those games from winning positions. We didn't do anything. And I would throw Burnley into that as well, because ultimately we struggled to break down the low block in it. And that was 2 points dropped. And again, you can't do the ifs and buts thing, but if you just got 3 points or 4 points from the many games I said, you know, our outlook looks a bit better. Football comes down to fine margins, much like this Premier League, especially when you look at fourth. Everyone who's fighting for fourth is because you've been inconsistent among the season. So yeah, man, I still think we're in with a fight. We've still got a game in hand that needs to correlate to 3 points. You know, we've still got games to claw points. One thing that makes me nervous is probably, like everyone, you're relying on other people to drop points. But the narrative changes all the time. If Arsenal win the next 2 games and Spurs and the rest do shaky, what's said? Spurs have won 2-3 games on the spin. If they lose the next one and United win the next 2, what's going to be said then? So the margin for error is getting smaller and smaller, and you know that's what kind of concerns me. I do think mentally we've turned the corner, so they're the reasons to be confident, in my opinion. My fears is we're now suffering injuries to key players at key moments, and for me, why I was scared for Ramsdale, who's now come back, is I know there's bare leaders, but he's an evident leader. Tierney's an evident leader. Obviously, if Partey gets injured, much like Tomiyasu, this has knock-on effects for the spine of the squad, the build-up play, etc., etc. Just downright better players. I still think we're relying on young players. Obviously, the Smith Rowes, the Sakas, the Martinellis, etc. Even Odegaard to a degree, as well as Ramsdale, Ben White, and Gabriel, and all of these names probably showed their age at Selhurst Park. We're relying on Tavares and probably Lokonga, who are still raw, still getting to grips with the game. Like at this moment in time, Tavares is someone you can't trust away from home. He's better against a low block. He's a winger for me, learning to play as a fullback. You know, he's played 21 times for our club, 41 times for Benfica. He's learning the game. He's learning different how to think properly, how to ask yourself the right questions on a football field. He's relearning how to defend. He's unlearning bad habits. But saying that, as much as that is that, football's about 3 points. Tavares away from home is a flight risk. You know, he's shown it against Forest. He's shown it against Selhurst Park. He's shown it at Old Trafford. He's shown it at Anfield. You know, he's shown it several times, really. Lokonga looked better off the bench, but he's another one that's probably suffered and looked like he's feeling sorry for himself. So relying on them two young players, I back them, especially Lokonga. I don't know for Tavares. I'm trying to bring a next left back into this club just because of Tierney's injury records now. But we're relying on them, and they're still raw, and they're learning the game and whatnot. We lack talisman. Like, big up the young players and everyone, but we lack talisman. We lack evident talisman, people that can give you a boost. This is now the time where someone might, just because somebody scumbags some goals, like Kane might actually he could end up with 20 league goals. His goals obviously correlate to winning 9 times out of 10. His goals could make the difference, really, like what Giroud did for Chelsea a couple of years ago. You know, I do think, you know, this is what kind of concerns me, if you don't know what I'm saying. We have to win every home game, in my opinion, to have half a chance, including the United one. And you have to take something off Spurs. Hopefully it can be wrapped up by them. We're still relying on others to drop points. I still think there's self-inflicting issues, which, again, at the end of the season, I'll more focus on it. But like somebody said, we made our squad weaker, and evidently this could be the turning point. You know, it doesn't matter how good we've been from January up until this point. If this is now the point where we start messing about and dropping points, nobody cares. This will be the period. We didn't replace Aubameyang, simple as that. We didn't replace the goals or the body in the box or the body. We're relying on 2 men with 4 goals between them. And you look at Lacazette, does that look like someone that's going to score goals properly anytime soon? And probably not looking like the new deal is something needed. Ainsley Maitland-Niles wanted to keep it moving and things like that. But I'm not going to lie to you, look. Other clubs held on to their squad players. Look, Arthur Melo, it looked like you was going. Allegri said, fuck that, you're not going nowhere. And a couple of other clubs did a couple of things over here. You know, Ainsley probably would have been my pick to jump at left back right now if there's problems. Obviously. So it's not necessarily the names, it's the replacements, because we weakened ourselves in January. Like I said, as much as I understand Aubameyang needing to go and I'm for it and whatnot, we can't bring save wages off the bench when we're trying to score. So again, we tried to get Vlahovic, we tried to do this, we tried to do that. That's great, but if you try to pass a driving test and you can't become a driver. So that might stop you becoming a bus driver or whatever you need a license for. So again, you get it. There's some at some point there's no romance. We're getting injuries at the worst of time, and you know, when I read between the lines and I start looking at certain bits and bobs of the news, you start hearing, obviously players play with injuries, but you're hearing Ramsdale's had to played with an injury. Tomiyasu was playing on the injury. Tierney and Partey were playing on injuries. And then you look at the international break, it's fucked us up. You know, Martinelli probably couldn't start because of the travelling and all those sort of things. Partey, again, fatigue as well. Tierney carrying stuff and obviously got hurt playing for Scotland. I don't know if it's just me, but anytime there's international breaks, it's like Odegaard comes back and he's lacking a bit of rhythm. You know, Saka went and got COVID there. Obviously, Smith Rowe could have used the England camp to get a bit fitter, but I don't think that's helped us at all. So they're my reasons to be concerned. Honestly, I don't believe in Arsenal's top 4 shouts, people, but it's not for me to believe. You know, I believe we have a chance. I just don't think we're going to get it. I'm allowed to think that, you know, it's not for me. The boy, you know, I didn't think Arsenal would get into this conversation. If Arteta already listened to me or people with similar thoughts like me, for whatever, they wouldn't be in this top 4 race. So for the boys, just listen to yourselves. You're never as good as you think you are or as bad as you think you are when you lose. Just get back on track. Just beat Brighton, because nobody cares that you're fighting for top 4. You lost to Palace. No one's going to give you 3 points. So yeah, man, it's looking at that, and then it kind of tying into the January thing. It makes you wonder: has Arteta and Edu's gamble ultimately backfired? Because I look at fullbacks; they're central to our build-up play. As I said, the way Tierney's had to change the way he plays with Tomiyasu's absence. has a knock-on effect. You know, the way Tavares and Cedric are going to have to play, or how Arteta deploys them, is not going to be, you know, what we want. You know, so for instance, Cedric, who for me don't really have a defensive bone in his body, probably would have to be the more withdrawn one for Tavares. And then who is going to fill in the space for Tavares? Tavares is someone you've probably got to coach through a game. So does that mean Xhaka now has to go back to that more withdrawn midfield role and not necessarily the advanced 8? It's a bit like when, happy to see Ramsdale's fit, but Leno being injured. I mean, Leno coming in for Ramsdale, nothing against Leno, but his distribution isn't the best. And we're already a team that, let's be honest, we don't really create from central areas. We're wide, we come from wide areas to win. So is that knock-on effect? Now, obviously, if the build-up plays altered in any ways, it kind of makes it difficult for you to score goals. So, yeah, man, it makes me feel, does the gamble we played in January, did it backfire? Or was it down to a lack of naivety, really and truly? Probably a bit of both. So it's looking like a madness because, again, if Partey's injured, if Tomiyasu's injured, Tini's gone for the rest of the season, these are 3 players that are the first names on the team sheet for me. Obviously, even if you move Bukayo Saka to left back as well, what happens there, really? Because I'm not against Saka necessarily moving to left back, people. But then again, Saka, 9 times out of 10 he's scoring goals. So who's going on the right? What does that mean? You know, who has played with Cedric? Who's got that relationship that Cedric and Saka have been building? Do you go with Pepe? Do you move Martinelli out there, keep Smith Rowe and Odegaard in there? Do you drop Lacazette, put Martinelli up there and go with Martinelli and go with Smith Rowe and Pepe? And obviously, knock-on effects. What does that have? You know, Smith Rowe probably has the best of relationships with Tavares out of all the options. Do you keep him there for that reason? Or do you go back to Saka left back with Martinelli, where that was something that served us quite well? So there's many different options. My thing would probably be, my first choice would probably be, I think I wrote it down, you know, I was trying to think about this. Again, like I said, if you move Saka left back, you probably unbalance the team further. You know, Tavares very raw with it, but it's time to learn. If Xhaka moves to left back, you obviously lose what we have in midfield. That Sosa brother that we bought from West Bromwich Albion, I'm not gonna cap. I like him at 23's level, but you know, that's someone that is probably not ready. It's not gonna happen at this moment in time, is it? So for me, my first choice is probably Saka, and that probably means moving to a back 4-3, which probably affects stuff. It's probably Saka. I know what I just said about scoring goals, but if you can't score, which we don't really do despite the statistics, don't concede. You know, the first thing is to have a stable defense, and I do think Saka is a bit booky defensively, but he understands the role. So Saka would probably be the first choice for me, especially if Cedric is playing. If Tomiyasu is now fit, then my first option is Tomiyasu. You come back to right back, obviously. Cedric, go over there. As much as I want my young players to get chances and things like that, I can't lie. It's an experienced player thing at this moment, you know. It's even like for me, 9 times out of 10, with what's going on in midfield, if Partey's not fit, I'm dashing Lokonga in there. But if we're trying to get top 4, I don't know what Lokonga's on. He might give me 10 out of 10 1 week, 7 the next week, and whatever. I'm not saying El Nene doesn't have poor games, but in the next 9 games left, he might give me all 5s out of 10s. Now, they're not amazing, but there's a consistency with that. Just like Tavares, in the grand scheme of things, you need to learn. And as much as people are onto him, he's had good games. You know, there's a bit of ring rust probably, but he's had good games. But at the same time, I can't trust you. Cedric, you might be a bit meaty, but I know that might be a 5 out of 10 there. So I don't know. My first options would probably be Saka or Cedric. Go over there and do that, really. I would like to see us retain faith in Tavares. I'm not shook for him to play against Brighton because we're at home. Brighton are not necessarily, they probably will score now, but not the most threatening of teams like that. You know, I do think that's a game for him, but at the same time, they've got some experienced players and whatnot. And this is the time of the season where we just need results. We got to keep it honest. We just need results, in it. So I don't know, man. You know, obviously, if Arsenal finish in the top 6 and not the top 4, we can save face. And again, I don't want to say overachieve because you ain't overachieved, finish 6th or 4th, you don't get points. But we've overperformed. It gives us a platform for these young players. They would have learned a lot, but ultimately fell short. But it would feel like a failure. So I can't lie. For me, I'm bringing in the left. I've changed my... listen, if you asked me 48 hours ago, left back or right back, I would be screaming back up right back, back up right back. And I somewhat believe that. But I can't lie. I think left back for me has jumped up the queue now, man. I think backup left back or a proper rotation option to fight with Tini, someone who's evidently levels or better than Tini. For me, Hickney, Luke Thomas ain't better than him, but I would just there's more options, but I'd see what Leicester are saying around that because he just moves like a left back. Tavares is probably better as a winger. That's why he comes on there. I just think, listen, Tierney's still my captain. He's still most important. He's still someone I'd build the team. One of the guys I'd build it around. I'm still happy he signed a new deal. Flying Scotsman's still my guy. And some of his injuries have been like my man's been pushed and bust his shoulder. There's been he gets this injury, this brittle tag, and it's not fair sometimes when it's impact injuries. But at the same time, there's a lot of injuries. You're like, bloody hell, Tini, can you stay fit? I can't trust that you're going to be fit for a long period of time, even though technically you have. So for me, I like to bring in a left back that's 30 because that's what scares me. The fact that there's no Tini, the fact that this thing around Tomiyasu, the fact that we're waiting on scans with Partey, these are the things that scare me probably more than Eddie and Nketiah and Lacazette not with an inability to score goals. Whatever we say, the squad is Arteta's now. So rightly or wrongly, everything is the gaffer's fault as well as the players, really, in the same way we win, lose and draw together and all of those things. So we're going to have to see, man. That's the Arsenal segment done. Before we get into Darwin Nunez, people, 100%. One love to you lot tuned in across Twitch. Don't forget it's a jam-packed day of Twitch business. What would he say? Top 4 hopes / chances, left back options. ARTETA / Eddie Gamble. Let's call it that. One love to you lot. I've been doing you lot dirty, man. Big up you lot, man. Morning, DG. Hope your day is as good as my team, bro. Hey, your team's not really good. So do you want me to have a good day or not? Big up THFC _ Trey. You're normally here, and support you, but that one there's kind of crazy, man. Kulusevski's cold, bro. Diaz is clear of him though right now. Impossible. It's still in our hands. Come on, man. This is the time to jump in 100% and back boys, not spread negativity. I believe right up to the point it's mathematically impossible. I hear you and I agree with you, but where have I spreaded negativity? Where have I said it's impossible? I've asked the question. And if you respectfully, if you listen to that damn word I just said, I've actually talked up our chances while acknowledging the reality. What I'm not going to do is wallow in misery. Misery loves company, you're right. And you can see everybody losing their shits on social media. But what I'm not going to do is take a puff on the toxic positivity hippie crap and bury my head in the sand. It's like if you got a bag of bills, if the rent man is due, if the eviction notice and you're telling yourself it's going to be all right and you're listening to Bob Marley, man need to face the realities. The beautiful thing about life is that it's ugly as fuck. There's plenty of reasons every day to sit up and stay in your bed. There's war going on. The government are crippling people buying buy a house. There's wars going on. Living costs are outstripping wages. There's plenty of reasons in general to not want to get up. But despite that, the beautiful thing about life is that you can live life on your terms. You can achieve your goals. You can define this logic, much like top 4. So if that makes me negative, then I'm going to have to be negative or whatever you're going to define. I don't know about no one else, but I'm not just going to waffle for no reason. I can only say what I feel and feel what I say. If I'm lying, I'm frying. If I'm not telling people what to think, just to think. And last time I checked, this is my platform, this is my 2 cents. So you're not gonna tell me nothing, but you know how the thing set, man. 3 at the back could be an option, but again, you kill some for fluidity. Listen, these fans don't really be key. Listen, these fans don't really be key. What they are saying, that's why there's an overreaction. Oh, really believe. Trust. Man live in hot take land, man. When we win, man want to waffle. When we lose, man want to chat shit. Have you been fasting, my bro? Not this Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak. I can't do it this year. I did do it with my Muslim brothers last year. Real big arcs, man. Just look at that bench from the Palace game. We need a plan B. We can't always impose our style of play on teams. Xhaka needed to sit in the Palace game and allow Tavares to go. Got to play to our strengths. That too, but also protect him. Still, I can't lie. What's the time, by the way? Beating Palace for full spot then and now will bite us in the backside. We let go of Arsenal because we finished 4th, yet the fan base thinks it's amazing that we could get 4th. Times have changed. I hear you. But disappointed. This is unpopular opinion. I just like with the Emre game, I disagree with the Palace one. Yeah, Palace losing to Palace then and now has dented our top 4 race. But there's been plenty of other games. That logic or that rhetoric says that we've been, not you, but necessarily, but we've been perfect up until that. There's been other points like that season where we dropped points. Palace at home, points from winning positions. Palace took 4 points of us. We didn't turn up for Selhurst Park. We didn't turn up for that game. We were, we were quite fortunate to walk away with a point at home. They never had Zaha when we played them at the Emirates. And after what you saw at Selhurst Park, you're happy, innit? Brighton at home, Brighton away, we're lucky to get a point. Burnley at home, as I said earlier, Everton, Manchester United away from home, should have walked away with 3 points. Of course, you could throw Chelsea so far, Manchester City's 2 games, Liverpool out there, Brentford at the start of the season. You could throw that out there. With the exception of Brentford, I would probably allow them because half of them are write-offs and we shit. So I don't know about none of that, man. I don't know about any of that, but fair play. Your fan base are so extreme, DG. I mean, there's a lot of fans of all clubs. Your club as well, but you're right, man. Arsenal fans, bro, they live in hot take land sometimes. It's either we're coming for third and another day we are finishing 8th. You guys have been consistent for most of the season, and you guys just have to hope these injuries don't disrupt your system. This is the time where Arteta should earn his money. Amen. I've been saying this for a while, but in terms of creating an 8, I would go for Rafa Silva and train him as a midfielder. Looks similar to David Silva and Bernardo Silva. I hear that, but could we get a solid number 8 first and then look to mold one? I wouldn't be against that. I see someone comment from Australia, man. I appreciate that. The comment's gone. I don't know why, but hey, there you are. Filthy. I appreciate that. Good day, mate. Love your content and knowledge of our club. Much love from Australia. Don't know why it's not letting me bring that up on StreamYard, but one love, my guy. Big up the Aussies out there. Good day, mate. Social media derby, the only thing I have left to look forward to, DG. Hey, don't say that, man. But yeah, that's my 2 pence on that one there, innit? If I'm honest with you, man. Like and the same goes for every other club. If we lose out on this race for top 4, then man, I have to sit there and where did it go wrong? What went wrong? Is okay, a part of it is clearly it was different them times, but we were shit at the start of the season. We've dropped dumb points in the games I've just mentioned. Other way of looking at it, January, why didn't we bring people in? Obviously, the squad and the age we're at, we need to learn one system before we can start fixing up other things. But it feels like we need to learn to play multiple systems. Like obviously 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1's my thing. 3 at the back on occasion, and you've seen Arteta see out games like that. But if it's not broke, we don't fix it. We'll only really fix things when, like with Lacazette, when he initially came in the team, where you couldn't really keep him out. And we went with 2 up front, and we was trying to play Aubameyang into form, and other people might get dropped. Like Aubameyang got dropped. So with that, now we found balance with other things we're doing. It feels like not that we stumble across something, but it's like we find something that works, and that's us. And kind of until we need to do something else, really and truly, if I'm completely honest. So I would say that really, if I'm honest, 44-20. That would be one love to you lot tuned in, people. And obviously, as we start to move towards the Champions League, Darwin Nunez, man, we got to speak about Darwin Nunez. Obviously, he capitalized on a mistake from Konate. Obviously, pardon me, struggled against 2 physical powerhouses generally in Konate and Van Dijk. No shame in that, you're gonna struggle. Really, struggle's a tough word. I think he gave as good as he gets. He gave as good as he could get. Lautaro Martinez, I think he done better than Lautaro Martinez against them 2, but then Lautaro Martinez also scored a banger. Now, for me, on the best of days, I love Darwin Nunez, but I think he's the perfect one for Arsenal. He's not the only one, if you can bring me him, Osimhen, Lautaro Martinez, these sort of guys, as well as a backup striker. If you can get Dominic Calvert-Lewin on the discount, or Ivan Toney, or even a Jonathan David, that would be perfect. But for me personally, I just think Darwin Nunez has got it. First things first, he's got the dark hearts. Like, I don't advocate it, but in fact, first thing, brother, they both scored in Martinez as well, but specifically Nunez, they've scored against Liverpool. When last did we do that? So he's on the right track in that regards. Second of all, dark hearts. Like, I advocate staying on your feet, and there was an opportunity. If he stayed on his feet, he may have scored, but he's looking for a pen. You know, Lacazette does that, but we need some of that. We're kind of too nice. We need bastardery, shithousery, and he's got that. He's got that. I think for a big man, you know, for someone who's kind of 1 man, 6 foot odd, when he gets in his stride, he can move in it. For a big man, he can move really and truly. So he's got a decent yard of pace on him. Can stay on side a couple of times if it wouldn't kill him, but he makes good runs. He's got pace. He scores in big games. He's got 2 against Barca, I feel, bagged against Munich, bagged against Liverpool, bagged against Ajax that took them through to the next round. So he scores when it matters, really. You know, he's into double figures. He's got quite a great goal scoring record, 22 years of age. So there's a lot of weaknesses and a lot of raw components to his game and a lot of improvements, but there's resale value potentially there. Needs to do it, man. You know, needs to do it, man. You know, we need that. Like, there's no other way around that. We need that. He scores different sorts of goals, can score with his head, can capitalize on tap-ins. I love the way he makes runs kind of from out to in off the last shoulder. You know, Darwin Nunez watch didn't disappoint, innit? You need him at the carpet. Simple as that, really. You know, capitalize on a mistake, and Kanate kind of let himself down, but we move, innit? It is what it is in that regard. What's going on here? I want it. All right, cool. Obviously, with that, we might as well speak about the Champions League. Now, obviously, where the Champions League is concerned, where Liverpool are concerned, it was written in the stars that Luis Diaz, the former Porto man, had something to say against Benfica. Technically gets a goal and assist. I'm sure he set up Mane. Mane bagged. Kanate bagged. You know, it's 3-1 Liverpool. Kanate, who scored? Kanate, Mane. Someone else bagged for Liverpool. I can't even remember now. When it 3-1. Sorry, people, let me actually confirm. Because I watched the game again on the replay. Yeah, 3-1. Sorry, Diaz. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Diaz. I just said he had a golden assist. It was written in the stars Diaz scored. Diaz, Mane, Kanate, all bagged in it. Kanate probably let himself down for the goal that Benfica conceded, but he bagged in it and near enough perfect for Liverpool. And they take a healthy 3-1 lead back to Anfield. Bearing in mind, the only thing you'd say is there's no away goals or the tie would be shut. You never know what could happen, but Liverpool have done their job, and it's a big week for Liverpool. As you know, on the weekend, it's Manchester City, Liverpool. I know Klopp's been playing it down as to whether they win or lose. It will impact who the title goes to, but it won't be made of that, but we know it will be. So, yeah, man, Trent Alexander-Arnold, I can't lie, man. I'm tired of talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold's passing, innit? Because it's like watching Messi do a madness now. It don't really... You just come to expect it, but Trent Alexander-Arnold, some lovely passes in that game, if I'm completely honest with you. Liverpool dealt with business, where the game that we watched on a watch-along, Manchester City against Atletico, bloody hell, Atletico literally didn't have a shot on target. Apart from some Antoine Griezmann counter-attack, they didn't offer nothing. They came to part the Barca, and they firmly did that. And to be fair, Manchester City only won 1-0. They take that back to Madrid, and you never know what could happen. For City, bag of possession, bag of, you know, chance creation and things. But I would say for City, it's the lack of quality efforts. Like, they didn't really test Oblak. The first bit of quality, folding off the bench to set up Kevin De Bruyne, was that really? Other than that, they didn't really ask any questions. They didn't put the game to bed. This tie could have been put to bed. Atletico defended well, but they were there for the taking. There were obviously aspects in the game where they started to venture a bit further forward and whatnot, you know. And I think we all love the dark hearts and the handbags at the end with Grealish. Everybody's touching his hair, or I call him Gucci now. I don't call him Grealish. That's Gucci. You know, Gucci was getting into handbags, Savic, etc. were trying to rattle him. Even Pep doing his thing. You know, Pep was moving bossy in the press conference. You know, he was talking his ish. I can't remember his exact comments, but he was like, the manager made great decisions today. He was on crud. So, yeah, man, football won, innit? But, yeah, to be fair with you, a 1-0 defeat to City, if I'm Atletico or Simeone, whatever game plan you planned, did you really expect 180 minutes Manchester City would not score? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. But, yeah, man, it is what it is. Come on, let's go. The Aussies tuning in from Melbourne, my boy. Had a nice steak to break my fast. Big up all the Muslims. Like I said, Ramadan Mubarak. Shout out to you. Fucking hell, steak. Do you know what it is? When you said steak, I just remember the time you, man, are way ahead. Way ahead. It's 10 to 11. Brother. Crazy. Yeah, Diaz. Athletic were under siege. Man said they're playing a rumble. They never came to play ball, man. They were on some next thing, man. It's quite boring to watch Atletico, but You could say it's a beauty if you like that sort of football. We've created our own Arsenal tax the way we have conducted ourselves. Forget English tax. If a player is worth 40 mil, Chelsea pays 40. They could knock a few more off as well. We walk in and ask for 15 mil in installments. We possibly never get out of this whole crazy, man. I do think last summer we spent correctly though. Like it showed what you can do if you just buy things correctly. But you know, everyone pays an installment. I can't lie. City, you know, clubs would be broke if when they linked with 8. You think, man, I'm not saying you, but in general, man, are not running 80 million, just 80 million up front. Obviously, if you activate a release clause, it has to. But there's installments. There's all these sort of things in general. Good signing for them. Literally, bro. Liverpool's recruitment's elite, man. It's elite. People look like they've been there for 10 years. Obviously, today, people, you've got Unai Emery's Villarreal against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich might even try and play 12 players again, like in the league game the other day. I mean, no one probably gives Villarreal a chance, but you know, Emery's the underdog king. I'm supporting Emery. You know, hopefully they can do a thing. If not, then it's peak. Away from that, obviously, you've got the Carlo Ancelotti / Eden Hazard derby, the Claude Makelele derby, actually, as well. You know, you've got Chelsea against Real Madrid. I can't lie, unfortunately, I think Chelsea might do it. But of course, I hope Benzema and Cole, you know, deny Chelsea, or at least put a temporary roadblock in the way of Chelsea looking to win a third Champions League and possibly retain it as well. Like, how many teams have retained it? And off the top of my head, I've only seen Real Madrid retain it. Barcelona didn't even retain that. They didn't win it in 012 after winning it in 011. And they didn't win it in 010. I swear that was Inter after they won it in 09 in Rome. But to be fair, last summer we did buy the correct signings rather than flashy. You know, man weren't rating Ramsdale's thing, bare of them. But yeah, just do the right things, really. You're right in that regard. You're fully right. Big up Ake as well, because he had a quality game. You know, people thought he was going to get thrown to the wolves. We all did, but he did what he needed to do, man. So shout out to Ake in particular saying that. What really was there, man. So yeah, only Real Madrid have retained it. So yeah, no, I was just thinking, yeah. So I've never seen a team retain it apart from Real Madrid when they did the mad thing. But yeah, man, you know, I definitely don't want Chelsea to do that. So let's put a spanner in that works, please. You know, simple as that. Like it's one of them ones, if I'm completely honest with you. Let's start looking at some general footballing news that concerns us as well, people. One love to you lot tuned in. Don't forget, people, it's a jam-packed day of content across Twitch and YouTube. You've got Champions League watch-alongs. We're going to have a more Arsenal-focused live stream at 11:30. These are all on YouTube as well, by the way. What have you said here? What's your thoughts on the future of Saliba? I hope he gets an opportunity next season, but it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see if he does come and stay the first half of season. And what I mean by that is from August to next January. So I think he deserves a chance, you know, even in situations like this, where, again, you could say, you know what, Gabriel and Saliba, you man are the centre halves. Ben White, you're going to shift over to right back. And then, you know what, Cedric, you're going to do the left back thing. Or you could quickly switch to a back three, pattern up things and get away with it there. So, yeah, man, I would say that really. And I would say this season, whether it's been the Saliba thing, whether it's been Laka and Aubameyang at the time, Odegaard and Smith Rowe, Tavares now, Lokonga, football fans, or specifically Arsenal fans, they talk about depth, but I don't think they understand it. They always say, don't buy this player because we've got this, or we don't need him, or they write players off. They fail to understand over a 38-game period. You know, you need a whole squad. And at the end of the day, we've got a young squad. Very few players are going to be amazing from August until the end of the thing. So other players have to stand up to be counted. So I hope Saliba gets an opportunity. But if I was him, I'm not signing no new deal until any talk that you have for me of the plans, I'll get to see it, really and truly. You know, we hear Saka, Martinelli, and him all contracted until 2024. We're trying to pattern that and give them new deals. Pepe is also the same contracted until the same time. You haven't really heard anything regarding his future. So maybe that, not hearing anything, maybe that is hearing something, if I'm completely honest with you. So yeah, let's start looking at what's going on in the world of football, people. If we go to the Athletic first, I mean, I don't need to show you like that because that was just for us yesterday. Spoke about that yesterday. Matty Cash signed a new 5-year deal at Villa, by the way. Tierney's out for the rest of the season. We spoke about that yesterday. Spoke about Emery's interview yesterday. And then close that. Why won't these pages? How do you refresh a page on Safari? No, this is weird. All right. We need to be back in Europe to make it work. Depth is needed. Trust. But even with no Europe and being out of cup competitions, brother, like you've seen what's going on. Apparently, Topps has replaced Panini as the official sticker partner for UEFA European Championship. I'm just trying to promote nostalgia with you lot. You know, Klopp is really defiant on a lot of stuff, man. I love the way Klopp does his little capping sometimes. He's right, though. He's insisted that his side's quarter-final tie against Benfica is not closed yet, and it's not. You start getting complacent. It's brazy, man. It's brazy. This tie, be careful about sloppy seconds, because last time you took a sloppy second striker from us, they did all right. I'm not talking about Van Persie because he wasn't that, but if you're old enough, you know, let's remember Andy Cole, mate. G1, you wanted it? Let's go this morning, mate. I'm ready. I've had my coffee. I'm ready for you, mate. I'm ready. You wanted to bring man to the ring? Why not? Let's fucking have it, lad. And why not, man? We lost the Bambi and we need the drippers, innit? We need the drippers. But anyways, before this guy put me off, Klopp said this tie is not closed. It's half time. True. Benfica didn't get to the quarterfinals as a present. They came through a tough group and then they beat Ajax. They will go for it. The tie is not over. We know it. I wish we didn't give them the opportunity, but that's football. They deserve it. It's away. It's a Champions League quarterfinal. If it's easy, then the competition is wrong. He also played down the significance of Fabinho. I mean, did Fabinho hurt his knee trying to knee slide? I think we all saw him. That was horrible from Fabinho, man. Stick to just the playing thing. He said he's basically just got a little cut. Basically, he'll be back. If you follow Derby, you know, I don't know what's going on with Derby, but allegedly, you know, they've announced Chris Kirchner as their preferred bidder. So it is what it is. What's Pep said here? Let's see what you said there. Where is that as well? Quite some interesting things here, people. Let's go through it. Oh, all this time I thought you lot could see. Sorry, folks. I thought you lot could see the screen. Apologies, people. But yeah, that's what Klopp said. I want to go back because I think Klopp said something else. Just quickly off topic with the Premier League. You know, Klopp loves to play down things internally. Sorry, you defo know you can bet your bottom dollar he's saying something different. But even if Liverpool beat City, Premier League title race is far from over. If we win against City, which is this weekend, we'll be doing a watch along. I think that's at 4:30 on Sunday. So we'll be here from 4 p.m. Which is, even if we win against City, which is already difficult enough, I think no one would think that's it decided because of the quality of the opponent. We play now against the best team in the world, but we will give it a try anyways. What we did in the last few months since the season started, we created a basis. I can't lie. I wish this was my manager, even though I like Arteta, man. I'm a big fan of Klopp. We're in a quarterfinal, the semi-final of the FA Cup, and the further you go, the harder it gets. Trust. And the way he's look how man are managing the squad as well. They don't even have the biggest of squads, which is remarkable. And I guess with Liverpool, that has to come down to rehabilitation, managing the workload, all of these sort of the experience of Klopp, you know, the medical staff, all of these things. I think at Arsenal there's been an improvement in that, but you get me, things are still happening. What did Pep say here, man? Where is that? I want to see this, man. Pep said Atletico played 5-5, and to be fair, goals win games, innit? And I don't like to see what I saw with Atletico. But on the one hand, what can you expect? If they try and do the football thing, they're going to get ripped. Like, it's like if City didn't come out there to play ball and they said, cool, for as stupid as it sounds, we'll match Atletico and just sitting back, they will get ripped because they're not as good as Atletico. City are one of the best defensive sides in the world, just like Liverpool. No one gives them praise for it, but they wouldn't be able to do that, you know. Elite substitutions from Pep, man, you know. For 25-30 minutes, they played 5-5. We were patient enough in accepting the first 5-10 minutes of the second half. We didn't attack with the right rhythm, but it was a good result. He also said we played in chances to score a second and third. The guys were playing well, but with Gabriel Jesus coming inside, it gives us special energy. And with Grealish to keep the ball, When we make a sub, it's because we think we can be a bit better. It works sometimes, but other times it doesn't. It's not easy to face a team with a lot of experience in this tournament. We will go there to Madrid to try to score and win again. But before, and obviously Atletico, respectfully, Klopp and Pep have another showdown. It just feels like, I swear you lot are playing in the FA Cup together. We're going to get bored of seeing these lot. We're going to get so bored of seeing these lot, people. Moving away from that, obviously, if you don't know, you know, Louis van Gaal's unfortunately got prostate cancer. Speedy return, and we're hoping for the best. Ronald Koeman allegedly is to return as Holland boss from 2023. So I think this means Louis van Gaal will take them into the World Cup. He's agreed a deal with the Netherlands until the 2026 World Cup in America, people. Again, Van Gaal will step down December the 18th when the tournament concludes, people. So yeah, it is what it is. Ronald Koeman will be back in a job. Let's close that. Let's close that. Apparently, Platini files criminal complaint against Infantino for active influence peddling. Snitching? Allegedly, he's doing a mad thing, people. I don't know what this is, but the complaint asks the French authorities to interrogate Infantino and his former colleagues, as well as 4 Swiss public officials, including the former Attorney General. I mean, you're all corrupted. You're on a RICO thing. You're doing this. Listen, if you're gonna do bad stuff, do your crime, do your time. There's no honor among thieves. Stop snitching. You know, stop snitching, because you lot were probably, when you lot was probably making the monies together, you probably weren't doing this. So stop snitching on people, man. But anyways, apparently, you know, Platini was charged with fraud by the prosecutors in Switzerland, and guys taking the deal, boy. He previously received a ban from football alongside Slep Bata. Prosecutors say the payment damaged FIFA's assets and unlawfully enriched Platini, while the 2 men deny any wrongdoing. Platini has taken legal action against FIFA before. In the latest twist to the saga, he issued a statement on Tuesday announcing that he filed this complaint. It's brazy. And he also accuses this Marcelo Vidal guy of being involved as well. So yeah, it's brazy, man. It's brazy. He's onto them. He's onto them still. He's onto them. What one? That one there is gonna be brazy. Carlo Ancelotti's had a tough time with COVID, but apparently he'll be able to coach Real Madrid against Chelsea after testing negative for COVID-19. So he's going to travel to London this morning. You know, obviously the 62-year-old almost got zanged, but he's tested negative, so he'll be at his team side, in it, people. Courtois has backed Lukaku to come good at Chelsea, and I think it's interesting because the way Roberto Martinez is talking about a lot of his players, Lukaku and Hazard at international level, and saying, oh, this is a definitive summer. We've heard that Lukaku's willing to give up some wages to go back on loan to Inter. It's crazy. Courtois backed him to come good. Man, I just no one trying to hear that about Lukaku, man. No one trying to read about Lukaku. But on the theme with his employers, Chelsea, apparently the Ricketts family conclude takeover meeting with Chelsea, fly back to Chicago for MLB season, Major League Baseball. Apparently, Tom and Laura Ricketts met the Chelsea hierarchy on Tuesday as part of their bid to buy the club. The Athletic, which we're reading, understands that the pair will now fly back to America for the opening day of the Chicago Cubs season, which they've owned since 2009. They're one of 4 bids shortlisted by the Rain Group to buy the club from Abramovich. You know, as you know, there's been protests around here. You know, again, one of their family members, Joe Ricketts, was branding Muslims my enemy. And if he's brazen enough to say that in the emails, what more are they saying? But fucking all these guys are racist, man. All these fat cats are all racist. They're all brazy. And that's actually one thing for me in society, that we don't really know anyone these days, isn't it, really? Apparently, Russia dropped appeal over FIFA ban from World Cup qualifier and other competitions. We spoke about that yesterday. Can't imagine you don't know, but reiterating the thing for you lot. Allegedly, Mata is 100% committed to playing, amid reports from Manchester United on the Manchester United player, better yet, that he could retire. What else have we got? Apparently, Barcelona have held very positive Dembele meeting, but contract negotiations continue over financial red line. Goal can confirm that Barca have held a very positive meeting with Dembele's representatives with regards to a potential contract, people. It's nice to see the 24-year-old's resurgence. And as you know, he has a verbal agreement, allegedly, with PSG. Sporting director of Barcelona flew to Morocco to meet with Dembele's agent at the start of the week to reopen contract talks. There was no specific proposal left on the table, and the 2 men did not discuss anything money related. but a clean slate was agreed upon that paves the way for a potential continuing of relationship. So again, there's nothing still on the table, but it's mending bridges. Right. So again, obviously Barca are trying to save peas, but you know, I wouldn't give a fuck about Barca saving peas if I was Dembele or any player, because these players, the money they're gonna make is crazy. As you know, Dembele currently earns 14 million per year at Barca, but he would have to take a significant pay cut to stay put. I mean, as long as you rejig the money and things like that for me, then it's all calm. It all depends. But I'm not saying if I'm him, unless you're gonna like make sure the peas is coming to me at a later date, I'm not on it. 24 years of age, you're gonna try to get me to sign a 5-year deal. You're gonna not that money's everything, but like fuck the club, man. You lot making peace. Like, hey, I need to make peace. Football's a business. Unfortunately, you lot can't even see this, man. You lot can't even see this. Sorry, folks. I thought you lot could see this, but apparently the Senegal FA slams Atalanta fans for alleged racist abuse against the Napoli defender. It's not the first and it won't be the last time in Italy Koulibaly will be subjected to that, and this will not be the first or last time we speak about racism, especially in a country like Italy. Football mirrors society, society mirrors football. When you look at the way minorities are treated all over Europe, specifically for this in Italy, is it any surprise that they're going to say this about Koulibaly? Well, they've, I bet they've cheered for Zapata to score and all of these guys. It's crazy, man. So yeah, man, it's absolutely crazy. Arsenal's merch, right? Let's see what's going on in the transfer world, people. I hope this is. Oh, right. Former Arsenal man had his Helska contract torn up. Liverpool have no chance of signing Haaland, says Klopp. Atletico Madrid are trying to sign David Carmo, Portuguese player that Liverpool are looking at. Allegedly, Crystal Palace will consider offers for Zaha, the 29-year-old's contracted until 2023. I mean, just so he can never play against Arsenal again, I'm for it. But pardon me, they're probably not going to make anything significant, and it's probably his last chance. But the thing is, where does he go? Does he go back to United, a more experienced player? Does he come to Arsenal, the club he supported? Does the Spurs take a chance on him? Did West Ham take a chance on him even? Because he was ongoing Everton once upon a time. What happens there? I'm taking him at Arsenal for what it's worth, 29 or not. But it is what it is. Just because he can play up front, as well as the 10, as well as the left and the right. It's almost the same reasons I would entertain Zaha as why I want Maddison, because I just want players that, not that players aren't confident at Arsenal, but these men are bastards. Like Zaha wants to rip, man. Like Maddison wants to rip, man. Arojo successfully has used the Man United links to his favor. Apparently, he's told his agent was trying to do something else. He said, listen, I need to sign a new deal. And it looks like he could be doing that. Barcelona allegedly have not made an official offer for Rudiger. That doesn't mean there hasn't been talks, though. He got put in the biggest spliff by Palace, man, 100%. Arsenal put Runnison up for sale. Wow, my word. You mean to tell me Runnison had no future at this football club? Wow. What news is that? Milan are targeting Newcastle defender Sarr. Chelsea's Werner's been offered to Juventus and Milan. Apparently, he wants to keep it moving. And, that will be a W for Chelsea because they'll get their peas back. Real Madrid are leading the race for Monaco midfielder Tchouaméni, a player I wanted from his time at Bordeaux. Higher level is something he needs to develop because he was great against PSG, shaky against the game before PSG. But what a player he is, man. So, yeah, man, it is. Well, it is Koeman to take the Holland job. Real Madrid allegedly are not worried about Kylian Mbappe as he's patterned it. Manchester City are prepared to hand Foden an extension. Didn't he just sign one? Fair enough, more money. Rafinha makes Barca first choice transfer destination. Fair play. And with that, we can skip over to here. This was actually, we'll get into that, but that was Mike Dean on Arsene Wenger. Just want to keep up the transfer gossip. Apparently, PSG have made an offer to France midfielder Paul Pogba as he enters the final months of his contract, but the League One club have offered less money than Man United. Manchester United... Sorry, I was reading something else. Yeah, Manchester United and Atletico Madrid are among several teams considering a move for Darwin Nunez. But going back up here, apparently Harry Kane would be curious to listen to any offers from Manchester United this summer before making a decision on his long-term future. Real Madrid again remain confident of signing Kylian Mbappe. We just spoke about Zaha. Again, Liverpool are closing in on 3 youth signings. They're signing a couple of, this guy signed a Scottish winger from Celtic. They have reached an agreement with Fulham over Fabio Carvalho, and it looks like a 15-year-old Trent Coney-Doherty from Derry City will be signing for their academy people. So make of that what you will. We've already heard about Ten Hag potentially becoming United gaffer and Anthony following him. As allegedly Steve McLaren is under consideration to become his number 2. And I mean, we've seen that at United before. Newcastle are open to selling St. Maximin this summer to who? Higuain allegedly is going to retire at the end of the season. Tottenham are expected to trigger their option to sign Kulusevski, which they can sign him for 25 million this summer rather than wait until it's 33.5. Who doesn't like to save money, really and truly? Pulisic has dismissed speculation I've read that already. He dismissed speculation linking him with a move away from Chelsea, but he kind of left all options available. What's your opinions on Darwin Nunez last night? I already spoke about that, but yeah, man, he kind of struggled a bit physically against Konate and Van Dijk, but he never stopped going. I saw dark arts because he tried to dive. He got his goal. That's another goal that follows 2 against Barca, I think, 1 against Bayern Munich. He's bagged against Ajax as well as Liverpool. So big games require big players are needed in big games, and he's clearly doing that for Benfica. I mean, come to the carpet, simple as that. So that's the transfer news. Going all the way back though, allegedly Mike Dean said Arsene Wenger was the baddest manager he had to come against, and I know he's lying. He just had, home nations just looking after themselves. Ferguson probably made sure he got money, man. In fact, of course, he's not intimidating. Your performance at Old Trafford when we lost our unbeaten run, absolute comedy. He's handed 114 red cards, so he's a bit of a self-fulfilling prick, if I'm completely honest with you. Normally I would say happy retirement, but fuck you, man. Anyways, being scared of big decisions, don't give a fuck about what he said there, really and truly. In terms of the most intimidating managers, he said he spoke about Sir Alex Ferguson. He said he used to get a lot of sticks saying he'd come in and bang the door down. He would come in. This is about him, really. He said this is about Sir Alex Ferguson. He would come in and then to express his views if something had gone really badly, but he wasn't as bad as people made him out to be. Fair enough. And then he said Wenger. It has to be Arsene Wenger when he was at Arsenal, because you got no integrity, you prick. On your deathbed, you're going to have to think about all the things you've done wrong in your life. And I promise you, you're going to think about the Old Trafford game. I always found it tough, not refereeing Arsenal in general, but refereeing Arsenal when he was the manager. It was just his presence. He wanted the best for Arsenal all the time. And if he could get any way of getting one over you, he would, like any other manager, like the manager you just spoken about. And does he want that, or does he want you to stop flipping cheating? Since he has finished football, I have seen him and he has been great, crossed the right line, and everyone is different. Like referees, we are normal people. I mean, that they don't see that you're normal people in general, because literally, if I'm a football manager and I criticize my players, a pundit, myself, no one says anything. If I ask a question of the referee, literally you get banned. You get banned for insinuating that ref makes mistakes or that they lack stuff. They're human. If I think Zaha is a diver and I'm a referee, I might not give him one. Or if I think he's a loose cannon or whatever, you're subject to conscious and unconscious bias like everyone. So this is what annoys me about referees, because refereeing is one profession I see man rewarded with just doing bullshit. So yeah, they said they would bomb his house. You don't want to see that, but yeah, man, fuck this guy. Away from that though, Wenger gave a reply allegedly. Let's see what the big man had to say. Sorry, folks. Sorry, people pause that. Here we go. Boy. Intimidating coach manager of all time in the Premier League.
Is somebody behind me there?
Nobody behind you, Arsenal.
Are you making jokes?
No, I'm not. The retiring Premier League referee Mike Dean described you today as the most intimidating individual in a dugout.
I'm not very proud of that.
Out of all the English managers at the time.
That's the whole point, isn't it? commentary about you when he said that. He said he only just really ever wanted the very best for Arsenal. He said, but I was intimidated by it. Of course, he sent you off at Old Trafford. He did. Yes. Can I ask
He still doesn't know why.
Big up my guy, Father Wenger.
In the middle of the stand, bro.
See how management makes you look younger in that?
Yeah.
Well, leaving management better yet.
Because I didn't know where to go. Nobody told me.
I think Bellingham leaves next season.
When I went up, they told me you have to go to the stand. When I arrived in the stand, of course, there was no free seat. So I had a double problem. First of all, I didn't know why I was sent off. Nobody never could explain to me because they apologized after that. But as well, I didn't know where to go. So I know.
Big up my guy, Father Wenger, man. But yeah, man, that was his reply to that. In relation to Bellingham, I don't know. Money talks, but it looks like Real Madrid and all them other teams got other priorities, so it might have to wait. So yeah, it looks like Gravenberch is going to Bayern Munich and to play under Nagelsmann. That's going to be brazy, man. DG just moved to Twitch, bro. YouTube can't do this. You're right, still. You're right, still, man. You're actually right, still. You can't do none of that. Twitch just need to make sure that you can house videos full time, man, without them ever going, and then we're set, man. But you're right, still. I'm not there tomorrow on Thursday, man. Like I told you, like on Monday. Got things to do, man. Personal life and shit. Oh shit. I must pulled that out. Brazy. Again, it don't look like there's anything else in the world of football related, people. So with that being said, obviously Twitch gang, 13 minutes I'm going to be live again. Obviously do me a favor, open up another tab and make sure you've set your reminders on Twitch but also on YouTube, because across both we'll be watching Chelsea Real Madrid, and also we're going to speak about Gakpo, Paredes and all of them guys in just a sec, people. So yeah, one love to the Twitch gang. I'm going to love and leave you lot for now. Appreciative for you lot tuning in like always. We've got a bag of content to get through today and tomorrow because it's Europa League, but for now, safe.
So it's always that active red light defending. I think it's like